Well, what do we have here? Other than the world's worst wheel alignment where my steering wheel doesn't sit straight. But I'm just taking my red 124 for a drive just to see how the cooling system is performing on this 30-degree day. I could have taken it for a drive yesterday when it was 40, but I thought, nah, that's a bit rich. I'll not be mean to my 124s. Out of interest, this car never really goes much over 80 degrees Celsius, whereas my blue-black 124 would be running considerably warmer on a day like today, possibly sitting just under 100 degrees Celsius. Now, I do have the air conditioner freezing my face off and hands at the moment. It's running ridiculously well, and that's not affecting the temperature at all. There are three differences to bear in mind with this car and blue-black. Well, four if you consider this has had a complete engine rebuild. Number one, I'm not driving with the plastic under tray under the engine. I don't think that makes much difference, but a little bit more airflow is possible through the radiator with that removed, because it's not building up pressure in the engine bay. In practice, probably doesn't make much difference. Maybe in slow-moving traffic, it might. Number two, this has the replacement bare air conditioner condenser that has a lower tube and fin count, presumably due to modern cost cutting. It's not made as well as the original, but as a consequence of that, it does actually flow more air. And my air conditioner is working fine even with the lowered efficiency. It just means the auxiliary fans have to run more often on this air conditioner than the other one because it can't reject as much heat. But hey, that's working fine. And the third difference is I don't run the oil cooler on this car. I've deleted it. So the oil and coolant are not exchanging heat with each other like on my blue-black car. I don't know that that even makes any difference, but that is a difference worth noting nonetheless. Yeah, this car is driving ridiculously well. I don't even give it too much stick on the accelerator and it just wants to go. Of course I'm obeying the law other than the speed limit at the moment. But yeah, it's driving really well. And yes, I'm back on my circle route that I get lost on and keep driving around in circles, which is fine because I need to get rid of the fuel in this car. It is more than a year old now. And yes, the speedometer is junk. I do have a complete replacement cluster. I'm waiting to fit that in. I need to have this one in here just for a bit longer, and then I will fit my replacement cluster, which is much better. This one jerks the needle around, and also the trip meter does not work. The odometer does work though, so those 307,000 kilometers are genuine on this body. Obviously that does not apply to the engine and transmission because that's been completely refurbished, and the transmission's not even original to this car. I did not use the one that was in it because it had been completely trashed and it was uneconomical to rebuild. I just got a much better one and found out it was already rebuilt, so all I had to do was reseal it inside and out, and that's what's driving me around right now. Incidentally, I noticed that my rear interior light has been switched on for months. I'm surprised it hasn't burnt the lamp housing. I keep the car in a charger, so it's obviously worked harder than it had to. But yeah, it's doing well. Temperature is stable. That's the main thing. Now this is the exit. I will turn left here so as to stop driving in circles. Actually, I think I just drove in another circle. Oh well. As I said, I've got fuel to get rid of. So here I am stationary after several laps. Temperature hasn't even moved. We'll just go into the 80 zone now with a little bit of a crack of the throttle. that is like 1.5 centimeters on the accelerator pedal. This thing is ridiculously touchy. It just wants to go and go hard at all times. Bear in mind, I haven't even finished running this engine in, so I shouldn't even be going to those RPMs. But hey, it just wants to go there, and who am I to say no? That would just be cruel. Anyway, I'd better get home. So I'm back in my driveway now, and the temperature still hasn't really gone any higher. The coolest I saw it on this drive, it actually got down to just over 80 degrees. Now, as mentioned, I have deleted the oil to coolant heat exchanger that was standard on this car. Just want to see, out of interest, after taking the car for a drive on a warm day, what the difference in temperature between the oil and the coolant will be. We can safely round that up to about 95 degrees Celsius. That's the highest reading I saw with my budget infrared thermometer, and we'll compare that to the coolant at the top radiator hose. So depending where you measure the temperature on the top hose, it can be anywhere from 77 to almost 90 degrees. So the reality is there is not much difference between the oil and the coolant temperature, even with the heat exchanger deleted. So I'm not concerned about that at all. And I will be running good quality synthetic oil once the run-in is finished anyway.